Agreed. Speaking up is the best thing you can do. Um, awesome. Okay, well we have the remaining of our time we're going to spend on our bike rack toolkit is kind of what we're calling it. Over the past few months and years, we've done a lot to increase bike parking around Provo. And so I'll just hand it over to Jacob to describe kind of the methods behind that and some of the tools that we use in doing so. And then I know there's other groups here that came for this piece of it, and we'd love to share any materials that could be helpful with you. We are totally open to sharing with you afterward as well. So Jacob, over to you.
First of all, I'm calling it Bike Parking 101. Okay, Christine, so let's get on this. I'm just kidding. We can call it whatever we want. So Christine asked me a few weeks ago to make this little presentation. I was more than happy to do it because this is actually how I got into this organization. I was a concerned citizen. You guys have heard the story 1,000 times. I wanted to park my bike at Target. They had no racks. And so I said, who has the most clout? Who has the most power that I can throw, their name at? And BikeWalk Provo stood out. And so as a designer, I ended up creating a proposal, which I will sort of go over in this presentation. And we went from there. So with that, let's get into it. And here's my tip for all you designers out there. You can actually do a slideshow in Illustrator. I don't know if you know that, but check this out. Oh, wait, hold on. Get me up here. I'm going to share my screen. All right, y'all see that?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah.
so check this out. Shift F. Oh, come on. Shift F. Oh, it looks good though, right? All right. So when we think of bike parking, we're like, you know what? It's not that important, right? Compared to like driving and making our roads safer for bikes, which it is. But imagine waking up in the morning and we have all the best infrastructure. We still need bike racks. So I felt like this was like my way, the easiest way I can get in without all the politics and the red tape. So with that said, welcome. This is Bike Parking 101. And first, steps. So we've got about, I think, 4 steps. I'm going to go through them relatively quickly, faster than I wanted, just because I think we were limited on time, right? Christine, what are we at? 15 minutes?
Yeah, we usually end at the top of the hour, okay. But yep, people can.
If you guys want to stay longer, you can stay longer, whatever. Yeah. So step 1, we are concerned with scouting locations. And when I say scouting locations, it's really every day you're going to the store, you're going to the school, government buildings, and you notice there's no bike racks. Take note of those. Take note of where a bike rack could be, right? And then we're going to show you what to do with that scouting, right? Like who's a good candidate, and we're going to be talking about that as well. So when I went scouting for Target, this is what I did. Do you guys like my smiley faces? You should, because it's cute, and it's BikeWalk Billy, which is our cool logo. So the first thing that I saw was the sidewalk, and that was actually what I thought they were going to go, because I was sort of ignorant. But we have to adhere to certain ADA practices, and when you would put a rack there, it just didn't have enough room. So I thought, maybe why don't we do a parking stall, which was good, but at the same time, it didn't have the coverage that it needed. And quite honestly, I want to get away from his cars, as soon as I can. I don't want to mingle with them. So that was sort of out. And then we found this beautiful spot, the best, which we ended up installing 3 amazing bike racks. So a lot of developers don't build around cars, which we all know, right? Like we are an afterthought, even to everybody. So sometimes you have to get creative. And we already had racks at the library in Provo, but there was some cargo moms and cargo dads who took their kids to the Provo library and decided they needed some racks in the basement. So we said, wait, there's no room, but there is. So you got to get creative with those stalls. And it worked out great. Provo library basement, they had the covered from the elements. It was near an entrance. And it was actually really nice because there was a one-way, so we didn't have to really meddle with traffic all that much. And it was on concrete, which we will get to why that is a good material to drill in. So step 2 is actually approaching businesses. And a lot of the times, I've heard people come up to me and say, I've spoken to people, I talked to the manager, or not the manager, I talked to an employee about this and it didn't get to the top. So always, always, always find out who will be making the final decision. So if you go into a store and you say, hey, you guys have no racks, and you're like chewing out the cash, the person who's checking you out at the cash register, they're going to ignore you. And they're going to pretend, they're going to smile, and they're going to act like they're listening to you, but they're just waiting to check out somebody else. So what you need to do is you need to do I want to speak to your manager, but do it nicely and say, hey, I have a complaint and I need to talk to somebody who's making decisions around here about bike racks, right? So where are we at? The pitch. Yeah, so the pitch, it's really, let's just go to the next one. I'm going to read the bullet points, because the first thing you want to do is be honest with your intent, because you don't want it to be as streamlined as I'm trying to make it. You want to be as honest you can and build this rapport with whoever you're talking with. And you may not even need to make what I'm going to describe as the best bike proposal out there. If you have a good relationship with these managers, they will do most of the work if you can get on the same page. Some tips I can give: tell them you're a volunteer, you're making zero money from this. That seems to work, because money is a big issue with them. When they have budgets, they don't want to listen, and they're like, oh, I don't have money, I'm not going to talk to you. But if you're throwing out the F word, free, yeah, I got you all. You all paying attention? All right. The main thing though is they are all capitalist pig. I'm just kidding. They are all making money. Okay, what is in it for them, right? Like, they don't care anything about bikes unless they're cyclists themselves. Managers just want to make more money. And how do they do that? You tell them you can expand your market by creating more space for a different market that otherwise wouldn't be there, right? I don't know how many times I decide where I go and shop based on if there's bike racks. And I told them that. I said, there's a huge following, people who are cycling out of transportation, and they're going to a different store. So keep that in mind. You can share statistics, but that doesn't really work. I think we alluded to personal stories tend to work more. If you're saying, I can't get my cargo bike over the hump of the curb, and I just ripped my ankle off trying to do it, like, they're more willing to listen to that. You can explain your demographics. Here in Provo, we've got a solid college base. I love throwing that out. I'm like, dude, you have so many kids walking and biking to your store. Imagine if they said, this is a good store I want to shop at because you've made it accessible to them, right? And show them why their racks suck. I brought out the Macy's, which was funny, because so Macy's, they ordered some beautiful racks, but even then the manager was fighting me, and he was saying, why we have these beautiful 1970s wheel bending racks, why not these? And you have to explain to them, well, one, you can't lock up, which I'm going to get into. I'm not going to get into it, but you get the gist, right? And then I love throwing out, again, the F word again, followers. We have a lot of followers, and we have a lot of angry followers who are willing to write and leave bad reviews. And I am very passive aggressive, and I don't mean to be when I talk to them, though. I'm like, yeah, I'll just go talk to my 1,000 Facebook followers and let them know that you're not going to give them bike racks that they need. Okay, yeah, I'll let you know. And I kid you not, the Walmart director, she's like, wait, don't bash us on Facebook. We got this. So again, you have a lot of power as a citizen. You don't even have to be part of this organization. Like, you have a lot of power to make change. So create a dope proposal. I use the D word because I'm a millennial, because we're cool, right? What slide are we on? We're on 11. Do you guys like that I added the slide numbers? So you're like, how many left? Well, we've got a few more. So honestly, I wish I didn't have to create a proposal. I wish systemically we could have I didn't have to be doing this. I'm giving my free time to do this because I care about it. I just wish, I didn't have to do this. But if you do it well, right? That's what I've been taught. I don't think my dad ever said that, but it sounds about right. I don't know. So usually when I create a proposal, I'm not going to show it to you, because if you can go back on our videos, I've actually made, I shared what my proposals look like, but I'll just give you a rundown on the main things that I usually put in. I will use a Google map to show the proposed locations to give them a general idea, right? I will then go into these 3 vendors, which, by the way, these are the top 3 vendors I tend to use for a few reasons. MadRacks is the best because they usually have a good turnaround time. Uline is the same way. They also have good racks as well. School Outfitters, on the other hand, they have been known to have delays. I think Harmony Fabrics in Provo, it took them like a couple months to get it, albeit they were wanting like a purple color, which is, I don't know, it's different, but whatever. So yeah, I want to hold the hand of the person I'm talking with. I don't even want them to think about it. And so when I'm sending in this estimate, I literally went in, put the racks in the shopping cart, and got the shipping and taxes and everything, so they don't have to think about it. And then when they are ready, I have a link ready to send them, because they're very overwhelmed. They have no idea what racks to buy, right? They're very ignorant. I mean, I'm ignorant, like I'm still learning, right? But they don't know if they should be getting, a lean bar. They don't know if they should be getting what type of anchors to get. Should it be above ground? Should it be in ground? Do we get the U rack? There's so many questions that if you leave it to them, they're going to screw up. They're not going to do it right. And they're going to be upset because we're chewing them out and saying, you need to replace these racks. So I'll include that in the proposal. So I'm a graphic designer, as you can tell, right? I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I mean, sort of, but I'm a graphic designer and I enjoy doing mock-ups. And I will go around, if you know somebody who can do this, have the Photoshop ability, everybody can dabble in it, to just visually show these people what it will look like. And I think everybody right now is like drooling, right? Because you're thinking, wow, I've been to Smith's and I've noticed the scooters dumped around. That's a really good idea, Jake. Wow, look at those racks. Wow, is that a security camera and a sign? And just visually, we're trying to demonstrate that this is going to be a good thing for them, right? And anyways, so you can do it that way. You can take pictures. You can also take pictures to show them how bad it is, right? Like I went into Smith's and I showed them pictures of, I think there was like half a dozen scooters blocking the current crappy racks that they have. So if you want to, you don't even have to mock it up. You can just show them how crappy it is, or bring them out and say, listen, where am I supposed to lock this up? I don't want to be locking up next to a smoking thing like my kid. He's got asthma. Anyway, so you can go into that as well. So I also throw in the bike rack buyer's guide. The first thing you want to do is you want to educate them as much as you can, right? Like that's a really good marketing ploy. Explain to them why they should be buying a good rack, right? Opposed to leaving their 1970s rack to rust away. So the main thing, there's 2 things when it comes to a good rack, right? The first one is 2 points of contact. And I think everybody knows this. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. In case nobody knows anything about racks and you stumble across this on YouTube, welcome, because it's like, there's a lot to learn. So 2 points contact. This allows your bike not to be flailing everywhere. Like I'm speaking right now, flailing. And then also having the ability to lock up with U-lock. And that's another thing that Tyler Green, the manager of Smith's, didn't understand, was that, well, he did understand. He told me that they had a high theft area. That's a high theft area. They've had a lot of bikes stolen there. And I'm saying, oh, gee, I wonder why. It's because I'm guessing a lot of people are sort of forced to lock up with a cable. And if you're forced to lock up with the cable in the corner, you're more likely to get your bike stolen. So those are 2 things to consider when buying a rack. And here are your good racks. Absorb it. I put the U rack the biggest because it's, to me, the most utilitarian rack. It's nice sized. You can space it accordingly. You don't have to deal with, I mean, I like the bicycle looking racks, like they're cool, but they're also $600 more, $700 more, right? So you have to consider budget with these people. And the Orion, Target apparently had the money, which I forgot to mention. When you are trying to find out who is paying for it, it is not always the owner, right? So you go to Target and you assume Target has the ability to decide if they're going to have racks or not. That's not the case. It was some property manager in Iowa who I had to communicate with. And that's why I made the proposal, because she couldn't come to Utah. So I said, you know what, I'm going to throw this proposal, email it to her to show her where the racks are going to go and what kind of racks they're going to be. So just keep that in mind. The same property owners actually own Walmart, but they don't care about Walmart. So Walmart is actually in charge. So just keep that in mind, going back a bunch of slides. So good racks and then bad racks. And before everybody rolls their eyes about the wave racks, because I know there's a few out there who's like, wait, what about the wave racks? I thought they were good. But they're not, but we can have an argument about that. So you'll find the hanger racks. I saw those at Savers. You can't lock up properly. Again, you only have one point of contact. The grid racks are everywhere, and they're terrible because you either have to lock up on the corners if you have a U-lock, or you have to take up the whole thing. So, and I don't even have to tell you about the wheel well. Yeah. Anyways, and the wave racks. Let me explain why I don't like the wave racks, because nobody knows how to use them. I don't know how many times I've been at a store and people either go parallel with it and take up the whole thing, or they're intertwining each other, and it's a cluster. So if you can, go back to this page. Great. I'll also add a FAQ section. Again, all of this is me trying to pitch them. I'm trying to sell them, right? What's in it for me? That's something that you have to keep telling yourself. And one of it is it does provide more security. Like if you have good racks, then you don't have to really worry about your bikes being stolen unless, obviously the user continues cables. It's a financial investment. You're increasing your market. Sometimes your employees are even satisfied and willing to work more because they have racks for them. Talk about the employees' health. They're more aesthetically pleasing, I can tell you that. If I go to a store and I see a 1970 rack, I'm like, ooh, what's going on there? Customer appreciation, yeah, we already got that. So who funds the racks? I like to explain, because they don't know who funds it sometimes. Sometimes it's the businesses, the property manager actually paid for it for Target because it was their strip mall, or the government could also pay for it as well. And then who's responsible to purchase it? And that's when I will send them links, again, to the vendors and what type of racks to buy, because there are different types of racks to buy. So, and then of course, who will install it? And I think we're getting to the next part. Are we getting to this? Yep, there we go. So who installs the bike racks? And if you have the time and the money and the energy to install it yourself for free to get this done, let's talk about rack installation. So step 4, so I went to, where are we at? Are we on slide 20? I'm sorry, I'm trying to race because we're at 6
You're doing great. Sorry to cut your time short too. I think we can definitely go a few minutes over. And
okay, I'll go really quick. We got 2 more slides. Is that okay?
Yeah, it is. And I wanted to make one point that the BikeWalk Provo's decision to install the racks for free is a big part of what we do, and how we incentivize businesses and property owners to install racks. It's usually, I don't know if you have this in here, Jacob, but a really significant cost, like up to tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about the installation of the racks themselves. Yeah. So yeah. I think recently, was it Dakota? I forget who we talked to. It was at the Canyon, and it was like $2,000 just to install one rack. So we are saving them money. And again, throwing that at their face and saying, we are saving you thousands of dollars to doing this for free. Not only that, but we're giving free expert advice. So thank you for bringing that up, Christine. I forgot about that. So if you guys, again, I'm going to speed through it. If you guys want more information, the APBP, the Association of Pedestrians and Bicycle Professionals, this is where I nabbed this infographic from. It's a beautiful infographic. It's quite simple. Keep 2 feet away from any fixed object. And then if you're going to put multiple racks, keep them 3 feet away. Okay. And it gets a little confusing. You can see if you're on a curb, just be smart about it. Think ADA, think of people in wheelchairs, and usually you're okay, right? Stay away from fire hydrants, simple things like that. But if you need more information, maybe we can send you guys the link for that as well. So once you determine where it's going to go, you need to figure out, really, I've only installed in 2 of them. I've installed in concrete and asphalt. I've never installed in brick. There are different anchors for both of them and different ways of doing it, right? They're similar, right? You drill a hole, but for the asphalt, for instance, you sort of have to do it at a slight angle, making sort of a V. So the the bike rack won't come out because of frost or something like that. You have to use a sledgehammer for that. And then we actually, if we have time, and if we don't, you guys can go over to your YouTube channel and see, we actually made a wonderful video demonstrating how to install a concrete bike rack into the concrete. So yeah, if you have more questions.
Drop that YouTube link in the chat.
Yeah, can somebody drop that? That'd be great. That'd be awesome. So this is the last, excuse me, this is the last slide. And you have to bring all of these with you. I don't know how many times I left one or two. So if you can just like make a mental note, and we're actually going to start at the top right. Bring your tape measure, because you're going to be measuring where the racks are going to go. The chalk is to help you outline it. Extension cord, because they never have an extension cord. This is all you. You have to buy a rotary hammer, and I suggest going to a pawn shop because they are quite expensive. And fortunately, Austin was like a millionaire when he bought it. I don't know, or he's a millionaire now because he's got like 1,000 homes, whatever. Side note. So once you drill the hole, you need a bike pump, and we use a bike pump symbolically because it's a bike. Like you could use any hand pump, but that's one thing we forgot in our video. You have to get rid of the dust out of the hole, or it's not gonna, when you drill the hole, you're drilling against dust and it's not gonna settle properly. So keep that in mind. You need your hammer and your socket wrench and obviously your spikes, and clean up after yourself and be a good citizen. But that's pretty much it. If we wanted to watch the video, we can, but I think we're over time. So thank you for giving me the time to talk about it, speed through it, because I was like,
thank you, Jacob.
So.
Can you, if you have one handy, I was wondering if you could pull up the PDF version of one of the presentations you.
Yeah, let me stop sharing, and then I'm gonna find it, and then I will share again.
And while Jacob's looking for that, we can open it up to any questions.
Oh yeah, the Q&A, that would be awesome if you guys have any questions. And Aaron can answer a lot of these questions too. He's done this a lot as well. So
okay, Dakota just asked if we have a website, if our website has a list of locations where bike racks are located. If there's some specific locations missing, who do we send those details to? We don't, that I know of, have that. That would be cool to have. And I also, as we have a planned redesign of our website coming up, and I think we'll create a pretty robust bike parking section on that website with a lot of this kind of material that Jacob shared today, because we've learned so much there. But that's a great idea to also have.
Okay, Christine.
Oh, sorry, Sarah says we do have one on our website. I should know that, but I didn't.
But
and it's probably outdated because we have installed so many bike racks over the last few months.
I would suggest, if you see a location where there ought to be a bike rack, to mention it to the owner or somebody, but also you're welcome to turn it over to our bike rack team. Let us know.
Yeah,
and we'll follow up.
BikeWalk Provo, or BikeWalk Provo. What is their email address? I'm sorry. It's on the bottom. No, it's not. It's there.
Yeah, BikeWalk Provo at Gmail.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, you can email us there, post on our BikeWalk Provo chat, etc. if it's in Provo. For those kind of other organizations that are here today, that's been great for us to have volunteers that are focused on this project. So Jacob's headed our rack crew, and so we have kind of one point of contact to it makes that consistent in how we approach businesses, and we don't have 10 different volunteers talking to 10 different people. So
yeah, we don't want to upset people, because I've had it before. I think I went to Macy's and like, yeah, I remember that guy with the small with his glasses. I'm like, wait, are you talking about Aaron? It's like you need to leave us alone. We didn't do anything, and they start becoming this victim. I'm being serious. Like they feel like they're being attacked, and all we're saying is, please just like move your racks a little closer and make them nice. So anyways, Christine, are you okay with me going through this really quickly?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's really valuable.
So this was one example for the underground parking. I usually put a picture of the place with a picture of the place. So we'll just go through it really quick. Oh my gosh, get out of here.
And just logistically wise, I think Jacob created this probably in an Illustrator tool, or I mean an Adobe tool, but we can definitely send this out if it's something you want to replicate within your organization. You may not be able to edit the document, but using
but it could give you a kind of a template to follow.
Yeah, this was sort of an older one. I've got an updated one with, our branding, right? Yay, new branding. But basically, as you can see, I didn't do a Google map on this. I actually created a quick, well, it wasn't quick, but I made it a quick map of basically proposed locations, and they actually chose 2 of them. They chose number 1 and number 5. So we are so happy with that, honestly. I gave them examples of other underground bike racks, and I addressed their issues because they were concerned about underground bike parking. And I'm like, well, look at the Provo City Temple. They've got an amazing bike rack parking. So again, here's your estimated cost. I usually, when I send a PDF, I will do a hyperlink so they can click the link. It'll take them directly to where they need to buy it. Here are your mock-ups I did to show them where they might go, and they actually turned out exactly like that. So fortunately, we had paint left over, which was nice. So again, another mock-up. They didn't end up going with the stairwells, but I'm happy with what they did. So, and again, I'm educating them. Here are the good racks, and here are the bad racks. What's in it for me? And then the conclusion. So if this doesn't win them over, then just walk away, because I don't know what else is gonna demonstrate.
Blast them.
I don't. Yeah, like I gave the one to Smiths, and like I said, Tyler Green was just, it's like nobody cares about racks. It's like, yeah, you just wait. And then I kid you not, probably 24 people emailed him the next day, 36 people, and he's like, please take down whatever you said on Facebook because I'm tired of getting hate mail. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. Is that okay, Christine?
Yeah, no, this is great. Just as a kind of conclusion, if you would like these materials, like I said, we're going to update our website eventually, but if you want them more urgently, just email us bikewalkprovo@gmail.com and we can get you set up with some of these,
Sure. And if you guys want to, sorry to interrupt you, Christine. If you ever need a demonstration how to use a tool or whatever, come over and we'll practice on somebody's driveway or something. I need a rack.
And you have good videos, and also it's like we're usually installing a rack within the next few weeks, and you could come learn in person.
We'd love for you to come and learn in person, because we're still learning. Like for instance, we broke a bolt, and now I'm starting to be a little more cautious when I twist those bolts. So you learn as you go.
You do. Any final questions? Thanks for everyone who spent a little more time with us today than planned. I think it was productive meeting though.
I had one question. I just threw it in the chat, but I'm asking about the cycle docks. It's like a bar that comes up and there's kind of 2 almost squares, like wings that come out.
Yeah, those are okay.
You just installed a whole bunch. They're bright green. Are those any good?
Yeah, for sure. Because so if you've got the circle ones, that's the one you're talking about, and you got the posts in the middle.
Yeah,
those are great because you got 2 points of contact and you're able to lock up a U-lock on it. So the only negative to that was I did find one of them. I don't know who installed it. We didn't install it. I think it was the city. One of the bolts was loose, and I literally picked the whole thing up. So obviously they didn't come to me on what type of racks to get, but if they had, we wouldn't be talking about it now. So
gotcha. Okay, I just see one online for about 600, so I think they cost more. They look cool.
Yeah, so you can get a rack like the U rack is probably your cheapest bet. With tax and stuff, you saw that it's around 200 per rack, whatever. So
thanks.
Jacob noticed the covered bike parking at Helaman the other day, Brayman, so you should know that.
Oh yeah, I did. Who did that, by the way? Was that BYU? We talked about this.
BYU.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, anyways. I've got COVID brain right now. I got to go lay down. So
thank you so much for presenting.
For sure.
You all. Thanks for joining today, and we'll see you next month.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Don't leave, Chris. I see you. I said, don't you leave. Hey, did you see the deck in my back? I got another deck. I was going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I got a bigger